Hi. Okay, so a lot of people have been asking me for drawing tutorials, and in specific, my drawings I call Taylor Shadows, which look like I've got so many. Try and find a good one. Look like these. They're kind of like cartoon drawings of Taylor without her face, and so they're like the easiest thing to draw ever. I've literally got about 60 here. I have so many. I just over like the course of over probably about 2 years I've drawn these. I've got loads. Basically, I'll show you how to draw them, and they're really easy. And then maybe I was thinking I'll do a lot more like harder drawings and stuff. So maybe if this tutorial goes well, I'll do some harder ones and then go up to like the hardest ones I do, and then it'll be fun because we all have matching drawings and it'll be like So, what you're going to need is you're going to need a pencil, which I actually haven't got because I've left all of my art stuff at school. But I have got some colouring pencils, so I'm going to use a colouring pencil. But I wouldn't recommend that because you won't be able to rub it out. But you need a pencil, then you need something to colour your shadows in with. Doesn't really matter what. I've done it with loads of different things for mine. My favourite to use is like pens, so like Sharpies and markers. But you can use pencils. I think I've even used like crayons, and I think at some point I used nail varnish because I was desperate to make a shadow. So yeah, anything you want to colour that in. Then I would recommend a black marker to outline it. Again, that could just be a Sharpie or a pen. It's not necessary, it doesn't need to have one. But I like having them. Makes them look a bit more like cartoony and neater, so I would recommend a black marker. And that's all you need. Obviously paper and scissors, which I haven't got up here, so I might have to go and get them. Okay, so first of all you need to find the image you want to draw. Let me get the one I found. I've decided I'm going to go for this one. You want to do something, wait, if I can focus it on it. I don't know if I will be able to or not. I don't know if you can see that, not very well. Oh, there you go, a little bit better. So I'm going to draw this one. I chose this one to do for you guys because it's really easy, there's not a lot of colours, and I think when you go for something like this, it's just a lot easier. It's more dress than feet and stuff, so yeah, we're going to do that one. The only thing I would say about this one is the hands are in an awkward position. So, but to be honest, they're all really easy to draw anyway, so it doesn't really matter what you pick. So, the first thing, you've got to draw the outline of this. Now, you could just draw it like from eye, but I would recommend, well, I'm going to be doing it like this anyway because I haven't got a pencil to rub out with and I want it to go right, and I'm just going to do it quickly just so you guys know what you do. But I would recommend, first time you want to feel a bit confident with how it turns out, so I would actually recommend turning the brightness up and tracing the outline. You don't need to trace loads, just do an outline, because the more detail you put in it, the worse it actually looks at the end, because it's cartoony and simple. That's like how it looks, it's like it's supposed to be. So it's good because it's super easy and you don't actually have to do anything. So I'm going to outline this now. And grab a pencil. So remember, you should be doing this with a pencil you can actually rub out with, but I'm just going to do this quickly like this because I've left my pencils at school. Make sure the brightness is turned up. I'm using quite thick paper, so I wouldn't recommend using A4, normal A4 paper because it's really thin. You can use that and it's easier to trace that with if you are tracing, but when it comes to cutting and keeping it, I have some in here that I use that paper with and they just become really flimsy and they are easily ripped and bent, and you can see her legs are. So I would recommend a thicker paper, maybe from a sketchbook, but if you're tracing, not too thick, obviously, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see the image through it. But yeah, so. So now I've traced it, there's obviously tracing isn't exact, so Well, not in this case anyway, because my pencil and my paper is not the right kind of thing to use. Well, the paper's right, but the pencil isn't, so that's what it looks like. Now I'm just going to go around neaten it up a little bit, because you can see her face is a weird shape, it looks like it's squashed and her arms are a bit weird. So this is the point. I'm going to need something to lean on, so I've got my sketch pad here. So this is the point where it is from eye. You might not have to do this, depends on how difficult the picture you're drawing from is, but I'm going to just quickly neaten this up so it's a bit more in proportion. Okay, so this looks a bit better now. I mean, this isn't going to be my best shadow because I'm not going to be able to rub out the lines afterwards. But I've just gone over darker and I made it a little bit neater, a bit more in proportion. Like I said, it's cartoony, so it's really simple, it's really easy. You don't have to make it perfect. Right, now the fun bit. Now, the colouring in. So, I wouldn't recommend shading or loads of detail, just one block colour for each section. So, for this one, I'm just going to need mainly skin colour, then her hair colour, which you're always going to need, and then just pink and black. So, I'm going to do the dress first, then go into the skin, and then I'll do the black bit last because I'll be outlining with black anyway, so that'll just make that easier. So I have got my Sharpies here in this pencil case. I've also got, I stole some of my sister's pens, so I'm going to do that now. Okay, so I've coloured except from the black part. Now all I have to do is, I usually use Sharpie, but I'm going to try out this pen. Actually, I think the best thing to do is just test it on the corner of the paper. Yeah, I think this will be alright. Okay, so, because it's quite a small shadow, I do some, like, really big ones. So, because it's quite a small shadow, because I've traced it, I'm going to just outline it with a thinner pen. So, okay, so the great thing about this really is that marker is basically going over any mistakes you've made anyway. So you can make it, well, you can make it thick, you can make it thin, etc. But if you do make a mistake, don't worry. See, for example, on this hair, say if I went too thick, did it too big, coloured that in, like that, well then that's clearly a mistake. But it doesn't matter because we're going to cut this out anyway, and then it won't matter because it's going to be cut out. So I don't know if I have scissors up here. I'm going to quickly look, and then if I do, I shall show you me cutting it out and then see what it looks like when it's finished. Then maybe show you some more of my shadows. Then I'm going to maybe do a competition, so hold on for that. Okay, I found scissors, but they're like really big. I wouldn't recommend using massive ones like this. So basically this is a tutorial, but like a really bad one, because everything I'm using I'm telling you not to use basically. But I mean, once you've done as many as I have, you can kind of just do whatever you want. You'll know what you like doing, and you'll probably be able to use giant scissors like this to cut out tiny pictures like this. Okay, so just cut it out. Just cut around the black outlines. When there's tiny gaps like this, if I've got smaller scissors, I'll try and cut them out. Let me try and see if I can find, like I usually with the gaps, cut them out. But I'm not going to bother with that because one, it's really, really tiny, and two, have you seen the size of the scissors I'm using? Okay, so okay, so now you might have to go back over with a black marker if you've maybe cut bits off, or just neaten it up, make it look. Okay, so I've gone back over with it, I've marked it out, I've put a few ruffles in the dress because she was holding it, and so this is what we have ended up with. Easy peasy. That took, what, 10 minutes? Maybe a little bit longer because I had to go and find some scissors. So, here's the fun part. Let's do a competition. Now, the date today is the 11th, so let's make it. I want you to have a go at making some tailor shadows. New, old, red tour, whatever. I've got whatever you want. Make some tailor shadows, and then I'm going to do a competition. I'm going to repost some of my favourites, and then on the make it the 13th because then it's a Swift day. So 2 days. We've got 2 days till I pick a winner, and then my favourite one will win shout out, spam, etc. And that's fair. Wait, let's do more than one winner. Let's be a bit more. My favourite ones, we won't put a time frame on it. We'll just say my favourite ones. I'll spam you, or maybe I'll repost it and shout out you. Yeah, no, that's fun. Okay, let's do that. Thanks for watching. Comment, like, whatever you do, and I'm excited to see what you lot draw.